Welcome to Believe in God from the Guide for the Perplexed by Maimonides, Vegetarian, Part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Maimonides, also known as Harambam, or Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, was a notable medieval Jewish philosopher, astronomer, physician, and intellectual figure. Born into a prominent family in Spain, Maimonides' path eventually led him to Morocco and Palestine until he finally settled in Egypt in Al-Fustat near Cairo. Shortly after moving to Egypt, life-changing events prompted him to start his practice as a physician. It was not long before Maimonides became renowned in the area and became the personal physician to the Sultan Saladin, a famous Muslim military leader. He also tended to other patients, lectured before fellow physicians, and became a leader of the Jewish community, teaching and helping its members. Famous works by Maimonides include Mishneh Torah, a commentary on the Talmud, and the Guide for the Perplexed, philosophical discussions regarding theological matters. A revered pillar of the Jewish world, Rabbi Moses ben Maimon also had a significant influence on some great medieval writers and thinkers, such as Baruch Spinoza and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, and made an important impact on the medical science archives. Today, we will read selections from Part 1, Chapter 35, in Rabbi Moses ben Maimon's book, The Guide for the Perplexed, to better understand the attributes of God as discoursed by the Rabbi. Chapter 35. All people must be informed, and even children must be trained in the belief that God is one, and that none besides Him is to be worshipped. So must all be taught by simple authority that God is incorporeal, that there is no similarity in any way whatsoever between Him and His creatures, that His existence is not like the existence of His creatures, His life not like that of any living being, His wisdom not like the wisdom of the wisest of men, and that the difference between Him and His creatures is not merely quantitative, but absolute. Anything predicated of God is totally different from our attributes. No definition can comprehend both. Therefore, His existence and that of any other being totally differ from each other, and the term existence is applied to both homonimously, as I shall explain. This suffices for the guidance of children and of ordinary persons who must believe that there is a being existing, perfect, incorporeal, not inherent in a body as a force in it. God, who is above all kinds of deficiency, above all affections. But the question concerning the attributes of God and the meaning of those attributes which are ascribed to Him, concerning the creation, His providence in providing for everything, concerning His will, His perception, His knowledge of everything, concerning prophecy and its various degrees, concerning the meaning of His names, which imply the idea of unity, though they are more than one. All these things are very difficult problems. The true secrets of the law, the secrets mentioned so frequently in the books of the prophets and in the words of our teachers, that God is incorporeal, that He cannot be compared with His creatures, that He is not subject to external influence. These are things which must be explained to everyone, according to his capacity, and they must be taught by way of tradition to children and to the unlearned, as they are taught that God is one, that He is eternal, and that He alone is to be worshipped. Without incorporeality, there is no unity, for a corporeal thing is in the first case not simple, but composed of matter and form, which are two separate things by definition. And secondly, as it has ascension, it is also divisible. When persons have received this doctrine and have been trained in this belief, and are in consequence at a loss to reconcile it with the writings of the prophets, the meaning of the latter must be made clear and explained to them by pointing out the homonymity and the figurative application of certain terms discussed in this part of the work. Their belief in the unity of God and in the words of the prophets will then be a true and perfect belief. Those who are not sufficiently intelligent to comprehend the true interpretation of these passages in the Bible, or to understand that the same term admits of two different interpretations, may simply be told that the scriptural passage is clearly understood by the wise, but that they should content themselves with knowing that God is incorporeal, that He is never subject to external influence, as passivity implies a change, while God is entirely free from all change, that He cannot be compared to anything besides Himself, that no definition includes Him together with any other being, that the words of the prophets are true, and that difficulties met with may be explained on this principle. This may suffice for that class of persons, and it is not proper to leave them in the belief that God is corporeal, or that He has any of the properties of material objects, just as there is no need to leave them in the belief that God does not exist, that there are more gods than one, or that any other being may be worshipped.
Vegan curse for the little taste in the mouth, ignoring the whole world's suffering, is cowardice.
Beautiful viewers, we are grateful for your company today.